So this is going to be the video explaining test B, the multiple choice portion of it. And just like on the previous video, I say ignore the multiple choice and just factor on your own. So looking at this question, it is identical to version A, so you could check out the other video, number 1, version A, to see that explanation. Number 2. Okay, so this one is different than version A, so let's explain it. Whenever you have the A value of 1, it's really easy to do. All you do is jump to your answer format, put the variable right there, and then you think what times what is negative 28 that if you combine together is positive 3. So if you're confused, make a list. Negative 1 times 28, negative 2 times 14, negative 3 doesn't work, negative 4 times 7, and that's about it. And when you're thinking which of those pairs of numbers work, these guys, if you add them together, they really do give you that positive 3 in the middle. So we're going to plug that in, minus 4 plus 7, and we're done. Now, which answer is the correct answer? Which answer is the correct answer? A, B, C, D, or E? None of the above. Number 3. So once again, on number 3, let's set it up. Let's put the x right here. What times what is negative 24 that if I add together is negative 11? Let me make a list. Negative 1 times 24 is negative 24. Negative 2 times 12. Negative 3 times 8. Negative 4 times 6. Those are all the possible multiplication problems that give me negative 24 besides changing signs. So now let me just combine the numbers and see which one of those pairs gives me a negative 11. So if I add these guys, it gives me a 23. That doesn't work. If I combine these guys, it's 10. Doesn't work. If I add these guys, what does it give me? It gives me 5. Doesn't work. If I add these guys, it gives me 2. Doesn't work. None of them work. So do we say none of the above? No, we do not. Right here we know that it cannot be factored. It's not factorable, which means prime is the answer, not factorable. So number 4 is identical to number 4 on version A. So if you want that explanation, go to version A and check out that video. Number 5. Okay, so on number 5, it might look the same as version A, but it is slightly different. So let's pull out the GCF. And when you look at 6 and 9, there's a multiple of 3. If you pull out that multiple of 3, but then again, there's also R and R, so let's pull out an R as well. And there's T's, so let's pull out a T as well. So if I do pull out a 3RT, what would be left on the first term? Your first term would be a 2R, because 3 times 2 is 6, R times R is R squared, and the T times 1 is T. Over here, 3RT times what? It'll get you a negative 9RT T squared. That would be a minus 3T, because 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. R times 1 is R. T times T is T squared. So that is our answer. And the correct answer there would be C. Number 6. We need to think what times what is negative 24 that if I combine together is positive 10. Anybody? What times what is negative 24 that if you add together is positive 10?
12 and negative 2.
Okay, that's good. 12 and negative 2. However, let's, just for the sake of reviewing so everybody could see, let's make a list. Negative 1 times 24, negative 2 times 12, negative 3 times 8, negative 4 times 6. And of course, when you add these guys, you get the positive 10. So it is negative 2 and positive 12. Now, which option is it? None of the above, because this is the answer. It's just not there. Let's move on to number 7. Factor by grouping. Step 1. Wait a minute. Is it? Okay, we just noticed that number 7 is identical to version A. So if you want to see number 7 explained, watch the previous video and watch that one get done. Number 8. 8 is also the same, so please watch version A. And number 9. So there was a sign change on this one, so let's explain it. you have to go through the long process. Step 1, multiply a times c. That gives you a negative 18 because a is 6, c is negative 3. So this is our answer for step 1. Step 2 is think of the multiples of negative 18. Negative 1 times 18, negative 2 times 9, negative 3 times 6. And of course, you want to think of the multiples of negative 18 that combine together to give you the middle value, negative 7. So if I add these guys, it gives me 17. Did not work. This gives me 7, but I want it to be a negative 7, so I need to change the signs. So that's really going to be a positive 2 times a negative 9. Let me rewrite that. Positive 2 times a negative 9. Now we move on to step 3, which is writing it in our answer format. And on the first part of each of the binomials, we're going to write this AX value without the square. So I'm going to write the 6m right there and 6m right there. So 6m on both. And then we take the pair of numbers from step 2, the positive 2 and the negative 9, and plug them in right here. Again, positive 2 and negative 9 are going to be plugged in right here. Now, if you think you're done factoring, that's incorrect. Once again, because 6m times 6m is 36m squared, not 6m squared. So that's why it's so important to remember to do step 4, which is reducing. And it should be done in your head. I like showing the division. You don't have to, as long as you reduce. We're going to be reducing by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And on the second binomial, we're going to reduce by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So there's our factored form answer, 3m plus 1, 2m minus 3, which is option C. So we're going to stop right here and pick up the open response part on the next video.